So I've gone back to the car and changed my camera for my new one because I didn't have my card in my pocket. So I'm going to go back into church and then I'm going to make a little donation and then wander around, and I'll be quiet and I'll be able to do a voiceover of the history of this church when I find out at home.
So I'm editing this video a bit differently today. Hopefully it will make sense. This is a church I stumbled across, and these are my first impressions.
There's a holy water stoop there. And there's the sign, please keep this door closed at all times to ensure birds, swallows do not get in. Many thanks. So I was just on my way to Bilf to look at some other churches, and I saw a sign for this little church. Well, it's actually quite a big one. So I thought I'd head down the little country road, and I'm very surprised to find such a big church, again, in the middle of nowhere. And we have this beautiful barrel style roof. I don't know anything about this church, don't even know the name of it yet. So we'll just have a walk around and see what I find are my first impressions like. So this is the door to the tower. It looks ancient, the door itself. We've got whitewashed walls. So up here we can see remnants of a wall painting. I'm not quite sure what that is. It looks a bit skeletal to me, but I'll find out. Again, all this stuff I'll find out later, and I'll do a voiceover. So yeah, I don't even know where we are really. I think we're 10 miles from Bilf Wells. So I don't know what this village or area is called. It looks like there's only 1 or 2 houses here, but there must have been a fairly big congregation at one point. So let's head down here. Now we can see the rood screen. This definitely looks like an original one, but whether it had a loft, yeah, it probably did have a loft because you've got bits up there. And again, more wall painting sticking out on here. Yeah, this rood screen looks very nice. Oh wow, we got the dragon there. So this is very similar to St. Issues. They got the dragon. It's not in as a good condition, but still pretty complete really. What a find, amazing. Is there a dragon this side? Yes. And that looks like it's been cut down a bit, as if this is, I don't know, has this been moved at one point? Sorry, I was just checking if I had the microphone on. I think I have. Aha, right, I've just seen some staircase now. So this, or I'd imagine, would have been the staircase up to the loft. I used to kind of go up there. Wow. This is a real find, this church. So the church I'm about to go to is one that's from the 1800s, not been touched, like a Georgian church. This has got a similar kind of vibe because although the benches look quite modern, oh bloody hell, it scared me. This little man here. You see him? I just saw him in the corner of my eye. Yeah, right, so let's go inside the chancel. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this rood screen. And we step down to the chancel, and we've got lots of memorials on the wall. Let's have a little read while I'm here. So this one is sacred to the memory of Thomas William Esquire of Fellinnuid. I'm rubbish at pronouncing these Welsh names. in the county of Brecon, who departed this life the 9th day of June, Anno Domini 1790, aged 35 years old. This is a nice one. We got a nice little symbol there. Sacred to the memory of Thomas Williams of Llandefalle. So that's where I must be at the minute. Who left this transitory world May the 1st, 1779. I love the way they sort of did these stonework in the old days, because it's sort of like as if they did afterthoughts. This is a really nice one. In memory of Benjamin Williams, who died September 16th, 1742, aged 44. And that's a bit like a butte angel, which is quite famous in the Brecon area. This one's from 1784. Another one from 1780. Yeah, some really nice monuments here. And then the altar rails look old, but not as old as like the rood screen. Okay, here we are, St Matthew's at Llandefalle. Because I've never learnt the Welsh alphabet, I don't really know how to pronounce these words. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comments. Table. The sum of 40 shillings to 8 of the poorest housekeepers, day labourers and widows such as frequent. I'll let you read this. It's quite long, so you can always pause these videos and have a good read through. But yeah, there's some nice things in the church. It's very bright. It feels quite warm, feels quite friendly, which is always nice. So let's go around here. A very simple wooden lectern. And what page be on? Psalms. Let's read a little psalm out, shall we, for fun? Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labour of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. This must be quite an old Bible, because it's old language there. I can't really read it very well. Well, here we go. This looks like some ancient glass. What does it stand there? Let's zoom in. This ancient glass was restored to the church of Llandefalle, 1949. And there's some names there for the church warden. Nice. So back in the day, they did care about these places. They tried their best. It's a nice little thing to see. So I wonder if there was much more glass here originally. Stained glass window, shall I say. There's a little stoop here. Or piscine, shall I say. So it's got a little, where the water would have drained out to the outside. So this is a little separate chapel. I assume this is a south aisle. Another big memory tablet on the wall. Oh, here we go. That's nice to see. We've got a card reader here. So this is what I was saying the other day in my question and answer video, if you haven't seen that. The churches that will survive are ones like this, because it is in the middle of nowhere. But when you come in, you've got a card reader. I'll definitely leave a donation in a minute. And I'd love to see these signs. So we know there's some old or ancient trees in the graveyard, which I haven't even looked at yet. We come to the font. This one looks very old. So without any knowledge, I would say that's a modern base, but this looks like a Norman font in style. It's got lots of wear and tear on that. It just feels nice to be able to touch something. And I'm imagining this is like 900 years old. That's my complete guess. I'd say Norman. And the door, I've actually shut this door. There's a polite sign saying keep the door shut. So I did. And I don't feel spooky in this church at all. And I've even seen the lights. Let's see if these work. And they do. So yeah, this church is doing everything right. It doesn't actually need light today, so I'll turn them back off. One thing I want to see is if there's any leaflet here so I can find out more. And yes, here we go. A nice little leaflet, only £1, but now I could go home and read all the information and let you guys know more about this really nice little church. Oops. So we'll do that. It's a very heavy door. Oh. Right, let's make this payment. Right. I remember. This should be simple. So let's tip £5. Are you making gift aid? Yes. Processing. Tap or insert. I've got to put it in. Oops. I'll turn away now. There, as easy as that. So I don't know, let's scan this to get your skip. There you go. So that's how easy it is to make a donation. So yeah, I'm going to shut up now. Let's use this camera to look around. I'll do the same route as I just done.
So back to a voiceover. When I've got home, I've looked through that little booklet that I bought for £1, and I'll read some bits out of it. The settlement of Llandefalle is ancient, probably based around a pagan sacred spring and well in the churchyard, just to the north of the present church. At some point from the 7th century onwards, this would have been Christianised, but no trace of the original church survives. What you see today is largely an ambitious, for the area, 15th century rebuild. So yes, apparently there's a sacred well here, which I was gutted, because if I knew that, I would have had a closer look at that. As part of the Norman preparation of the Welsh kingdoms following 1066, whatever church was here was rebuilt at some point in the 12th or 13th centuries and almost certainly rededicated to St Matthew instead of a local Welsh saint of some obscurity, possibly St Maelog. Regarding the rood screen, what survives is the lower part of it, erected around 1500, so only half a century before the great changes of the Reformation. It too would have been richly painted, but is now stripped back to its original oak. There are dragons or serpents at either end eating their tails, which are also their tongues. The stained glass windows were smashed and removed in the 1540s. Specialists reassembled the parts you see today. They are very important, being very rare here in Breconshire. The font is the oldest item in the church and was hollowed from a single stone. It was here before the present church that now surrounds it.
Let's have a wander around the graveyard. So we've got a yew tree straight away there. A male one by the look of things. Look at these gravestones stacked up. Loads of them just stacked up against that tree. Another one, and here we have a sign of a red berry. So because it's been so dry for weeks now, I swear these berries would normally be out before now. I could be wrong, but these trees are just not getting any water. And this one again, right, it just looks so dry. Don't know if you can hear those sheep in the background. We're obviously in farmer territory here. Oh, there they are, look. Now this camera doesn't really zoom, let's try it. Press that one. There we go. It's only got double the zoom on this one. So the iPhone is a lot better for this. Yeah, the farmer's in the field moving the sheep. So there's quite a few modern gravestones here, which is quite surprising because, as I say, as far as I can see, there's no houses here. Here's the church. Those sheep are going mad. It's obviously been whitewashed at some point. Looks like a good few years ago since the last time it had.
I wanted to keep this video as raw as possible and show you how it felt when I first turned up. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all on the next one.